What's good, everybody, and welcome back. Let's talk about modding your Warframe. Warframes have different slots than what your weapons do. Starting off, you have the Aura mod slot. What this will do is give you an additional mod capacity if you match the polarity. Your capacity is up here in the upper left-hand corner. This is how many mods you can place. Do you see the little icon in the upper right-hand corner? That is going to indicate how many slots this is going to fill up. I'm going to talk about polarity today as well as forma, in addition to auric and reactors, but please understand this is a broad overview for modding because every different Warframe of the game has different uses, and there are tons of different builds for those particular Warframes. So understand up front, I can't really say these 6 mods are perfect on every single frame because that's not really true. There are some great mods that fit a lot of different roles, Flow being one of those fantastic mods. But let's get back on track here. With the Aura mod slot, if you place an Aura mod into it with a polarity that matches the polarity of the particular slot, it's going to actually give you double. So notice, instead of getting 7 more capacity, we end up getting 14 more capacity. Now, if you don't understand what polarity is, polarity allows you to effectively enhance the efficiency of a particular slot. The best way I can describe that is if I come down here to actions and I come to polarization, and I'll explain this in more detail in a second, I can form a slot. So you have the V, the D, the dash, and then don't ever bother formatting for that particular one. So essentially, your mods are going to be built up with a backbone of either being the V, the D, or the dash. If you match up the mod with that particular polarization, you get the benefits at half the cost. Does that make sense? So you can even sort down here by the particular polarization. So steel fiber, I don't have it fully upgraded. It's kind of expensive. It normally would take up 12 of my capacity. If I put it in here though, since it matches the polarity of that particular slot, I get the benefits of it for half the price. That is the basic core bones of the idea of efficiently modding your frames. Now, you'll notice here my capacity is 30 of 30, and that's basically what your Warframes are going to come stock as. You can double this, and it's important that you do for all the frames that you're playing with regularly by putting an auric and reactor within it. So if you come down here to the action section, you will see here, upgrade, double your mod capacity, and all you need to do is install that auric and reactor, pay attention to the upper left hand corner, and all of a sudden my frame now has 60 potential capacity. This is mandatory, absolutely mandatory. You can get these auric and reactors from alerts, invasions, from sorties as a blueprint, and these are super critical. I can't stress it enough. The more you're playing this game, especially if you're a beginner coming into the scene, save those reactors and efficiently use them because now the build potential has just gone through the roof. We need to talk as well about the good old Exilis portion of the mod section because you won't notice this in your weapons portions of the mods. Exilis, the spot for the Exilis adapter is basically for utility and mobility mods. These aren't super powerful mods, but they usually will augment your ability, and some of them can be very useful. I didn't mean to say they're not ultra powerful. The way that you actually end up opening and unlocking this slot is with an Exilis adapter. So if I come up to the market here, you can get an Exilis adapter from a bunch of different areas. 20 platinum on the market will get you one. Sorties, they're available there. Standing with Teshin as well, and sometimes from certain invasions. So all I need to do, I'm not going to buy one for this. I don't want to spend plat right now on that. But all you need to do is once you have that purchased, you'll then go and the slot will be rock and roll ready to do it. So let's move over to my Nova here so I can show off a little bit more details. Here is my Nova, and I have a build here specifically created to maximize the M Prime ability. The M Prime ability is a really rockin' ability for the Nova that essentially lets you do a giant AoE attack that slows all of the enemies within that big AoE, and when you shoot them, they explode. It's awesome, and I've built this entire modding build around that particular ability. For this particular build, making sure I hit 145% strength is key. Your main players here are the duration, efficiency, range, and strength stats. Those will play in with most of the abilities of different Warframes. Here, I have corrosive projection, and that is formatted to match the particular slot here, so I'm getting 74 capacity, which is really nice. We have power drift, giving me 15% ability strength, plus 30% chance to resist knockdown, and that's filling up 9 of my slots. My intensify here gives me 30% ability strength, as well as my constitution. Constitution being a very important mod for a lot of different builds, sitting in these 2 slots. And note how it's green. That means I have formatted these slots appropriately. Now, you'll notice here, fleeting expertise and narrow-minded, as well as vitality, are not maxed out. My next goal is to max these out. I did not have time before putting this video together to do so because, and you guys will learn this very quickly as you're playing Warframe, mods get extraordinarily expensive to max out. And a lot of times it takes quite a bit of farming to get these guys rocking and rolling. Don't be worried right now, especially if you're in the beginner stages. Actually, we do a 1 from the top, fleeting expertise, which I'll touch on here in a second. Don't be afraid in some of these situations wait, let's get this out here. Cancel fusion. Don't be afraid to upgrade a mod without maxing it out just yet, because if I want to max out vitality here, you're looking at 500,000 credits and 10k endo, and I'm already coming into it kind of halfway through here. Corrupted mods as well will be viciously expensive if I want to max out my narrow-minded. I'm looking at 30k endo as well as 1.5 million credits. Doesn't mean that you should be progressively working towards them, but it's a pursuit at this point to chase on a regular basis. It gives you just an additional element to farm and grind for as you're playing throughout the game. I want to point out a couple of very important things here. Efficiency maxes out at 175%. So what you will oftentimes see is streamline paired with fleeting expertise. You get that big bonus in ability efficiency. However, it's important to note that if you have streamline maxed out like I do here and fleeting expertise maxed out, you're going to be wasting that additional percentage that you're going to get. Because if you have streamlined 1 from the top, I believe it's 25% ability efficiency. And if you have fleeting expertise 1 from the top, you're looking at that 50% for your efficiency. And that brings you to the 175%. Any more than that is wasted because obviously your efficiency cannot go beyond 175, and fleeting expertise brings with it the negative connotation of the minus ability duration. When I'm talking about 1 from the top, I'm talking about the upgrade nodes. Do you see the little dots at the very bottom there? So oftentimes you'll see streamline 1 from the top and fleeting expertise 1 from the top. Health is very important. Health is more important than shields for the most part in this game. Slash procs and toxin procs deal vicious amounts of damage later on, so having additional health is a pretty big benefit. Oftentimes you won't see experienced players modding for shields, except for certain circumstances, so having vitality in your wheelhouse is a very good mod to have, as is steel fiber. I know I just talked about not worrying too much about your armor. I would obviously prioritize vitality over that. We have talked about constitution before. We've talked about continuity in previous elements of the video. But let's talk about Forma in your slots. I have mentioned Forma a few times in this guide series before, but Forma is what allows you to change the polarity of your slots. So if I come over here, I actually don't think I have any building. I think I just have it in my inventory. But when we go on the Void Relic missions, oftentimes I'm telling you guys for the rewards to pick the Forma blueprint and begin building these. Yeah, you can throw platinum at them, but you're going to need a ton of Forma in order to maximize the potential of your build. So what I need to do to actually get this fully upgraded and get fleeting expertise 1 from the top, I'm totally out of room, as you can see already, just with these slots in here. I need to Forma primed continuity, so this is worth way less, like this particular mod slot. And I'll probably have to do another Forma for a different slot here to make sure, like maybe it's fleeting expertise or streamline that I end up formatting those slots for. It doesn't matter because they're both a dash polarity. If all that doesn't make sense, don't worry. Check this out. I go to actions, I go to polarization, and then in the primed continuity slot, I would pick the V. And what will happen here is if I apply this, it's going to then put that slot permanently as the V polarization. You can change it later. Don't worry about it. When I say permanent, I just mean from this point forward. And what will happen is it's going to reset the rank of my frame. I guess I'll just do this right now. It's going to reset the rank of my particular frame here. Notice I go all the way back down to, an unranked frame, but my primed continuity fits in there perfectly. Obviously, I can't put the rest of my mods back in here until I level this frame back up. Also important to note, if you do this, it does not count towards your mastery rank, okay? It will not count towards upgrading your mastery rank. You can't just keep formatting your frame that you love and grinding it up to 30 over and over again. But boom, in a nutshell, that is the bare bones basics of modding for your particular frame. When you look at your abilities, guys, pay very... Oh, that's unranked right now. Let me go and look at Frost. Doop. When you look at your abilities, pay very close attention, you guys, to the ability that you're modding for and see what particular stat is going to influence that ability the most, okay? Damage and duration for freeze, that kind of a thing. I mean, Snow Globe, of course, you're looking at things that are going to aid in benefiting the Snow Globe's stats, right? Health in particular. Your Avalanche, damage, range, duration, these are all things that are going to impact what mods you select. I mean, heck, you can even go into, forgive if this build is really dumb. It might be. I haven't checked it before this video. You can come in here and you can even search duration. And then look, these are all mods that are going to positively impact duration. Look at that broken continuity. We can get that out of there. Is there room for it? Boom. All right, there we go. So if you have any questions in particular for me, I would love to hear about it down in the comments section below. Veterans, sound off with your tips as well. If you've learned a lot about this game over the last few years, I have been aggressive about thumbing and hearting comments that are very helpful. So please join the conversation down below. I'll be back soon talking about weapons, which I think weapons are actually kind of easier to chat about than Warframes themselves. And remember, start doing your own builds. Stop doing auto mods at this point in the game. If you've been following the guide series, really understand there are more efficient ways to mod your Warframe, but there isn't like one set in stone, this is the build that you need to do. Oh, and before I leave, where do you actually find builds? Where do you learn about builds that characterize and actually emphasize the right perks for this ability that you want to push forward, basically? YouTube is an incredible tool for doing that. A lot of YouTube channels thrive on creating new build videos when fresh mods come out or some changes happen to the sandbox, and that really is what keeps this game ultra fresh and addicting for players who are probably, like, at this point, I hope you've done the second Dream Quest. So I'll be back soon with the weapon video, and then I'll be back with the video continuing on. If you haven't done second Dream yet, get cooking on it, because that's where we're going to be picking up after the modding weapon video. Thanks so much. I know, long-winded video. If you enjoyed, subscribe for more. Please thumbs the video up. I would love to see you guys around here more often. We got Monster Hunter, Destiny, and Warframe cooking in the oven. Have a great day, and I will talk with you all next time.